supposed to be kind of a diary of my journey with Dodo, which is the platform that I'm building. I thought I would just explain everything that has happened so far, and they're not the problems, but the questions that I'm wrestling with, and the status, and what I think I will do next. So I've started Dodo, I think just a little bit less than a year ago. And I've also started it with someone else. And the first steps were done with someone else, but that person left from January, December. I'm really on my own. I have people that help me, but to be honest, that's not enough. You have to have someone to share ideas with and discuss things you want to do and how you see it working or not, and just to have a second opinion. So I think the hardest part was figuring it all out on and then also trying to find the information or other people who had similar experiences to ask their opinions, or just finding information and also checking your own thinking, your own logic, because everything I do, I kind of rely on my judgment, which is extremely difficult because I have blind spots like everyone does. I have a lot of blind spots, and yeah, but in the end of the day you just make a decision, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You try something else. But so Dodo is officially registered as a company since March, and by then I was kind of hoping to already have officially confirmed pilot cases, but we're still not there. And of course, since it's one person company, I have no one else to blame but myself. I'm very much a technical person, and I would rather spend a lot of hours on product rather than just calling everyone, trying to sell it. To the point that I would rather walk 10 kilometers to ask a question or say something to the person face to face than to pick up a phone and have a phone call. So obviously there has been a lot of stepping over myself and reaching people on LinkedIn via emails and in all other different ways. It has definitely not been easy, especially with the emails, because I have discovered that there is such thing as I knew there are firewalls in big companies, but I had no idea that it blocks pretty much everything that is coming in. So from all the emails that I have sent, I actually have no idea how many have been received, but I think it's a very small proportion, if any at all. And I've only received one email response, and then same with the LinkedIn message. You try to explain, even if you're not trying to sell, you just want their opinion, you just want them to try for free. Often there's just no response at all, like nothing, silence. Sometimes it's a no, and sometimes it's quite rude no. Like, if you imagine us having that conversation in real life, would you actually respond the way you do on LinkedIn? I think some people don't realize that, you're still a real person on the other side, and not just maybe they think it's an automated AI machine, I don't know, that is writing those messages. Anyway, and then sometimes people say, we've created something similar internally, and we've spent all this energy on onboarding and so on, so we're not willing to change. But of course, often these people are not decision makers, and I still need to persevere and try to find another person in the same company who might be interested in the solution that I offer. A couple of weeks ago, and that was end of April, in order to bypass the email firewall, I thought, let me just send actual physical mail. So I've created physical postcards with a dodo bird on it. And on the reverse, there was just a question if they know how their products compare, and the link to the customized page where there are their products and some of their competitors' products. And I thought, because it's physical and the postcard itself is quite pretty. It's just simple bird and that's it. And I thought that I will get a lot of response from that, but in fact from 35, I think I sent maybe just under 30 postcards. Only 2 people opened it, and again, I have no idea if those were actually delivered, if the right people received them, or it was just, I don't know, received by administration or secretary and just chucked away. That's not a lot. And obviously it took also some time and effort. And not a big one, but still financial investment to send all of those. So that also didn't work out. So I think now I'm at the stage where there's actually nothing else left for me to do but just pick up the phone and call people. And there are not many companies in Belgium who I can call, so I will go through that list very quickly, which means at some point I'll have to be calling in French, because France is my target market, one of my target markets, and it's also a big market. And needless to say that I'm not confident enough in French to make a phone call. I can do that if it's something simple about reservation or simple question, but to actually deliver kind of a sales pitch in French via the phone, I would say I think it's like it being a phone call, which is already extremely uncomfortable to me, like scary actually is the right word. And then doing it in French, it's like the mountain top for me. It's like almost an Everest. But I think I have no other choices, because posting on LinkedIn, although it kind of works and I just have to be consistent enough, I still cannot rely on it. I can control the input, the amount of posts I make and the message and consistency, but I cannot control who ends up seeing those in a way, because sometimes it's unpredictable. So picking up the phone and calling is actually one thing I can do, which I now have really no choice but do that. And I know it's weird because I was supposed to do it months ago, but when it's so uncomfortable, you kind of try to find a million other things you can try, and for me it was LinkedIn, which I've tried again and again and again, but it clearly doesn't work, and just emails also don't work. So yeah, I have no other choice but to actually call. The other interesting, or rather frustrating part for me at this moment is that, of course, if I'm not working on Dodo, nothing is moving, which is obvious. But I'm just looking for the moment when I can outsource at least some of it, when I bring at least a little bit of money in by selling a pilot, or even like even if it's not for a year, but something, getting some money in so that I can hire someone to do anything so that it moves forward when I'm not working. Because we are now in June, in the beginning of June, and although I've wanted to have summer, like May, June, July, quite free, I also thought that Dodo will be further along than it is now. So obviously with every vacation I take, even if I work there a little bit, those have been planned and it's with families and friends. I cannot just work 5 days a week there. And that literally means that for 2 months there will be very, very little progress. Only from those days in between my vacations and trips and family visits that I can squeeze as much work as I can to advance everything. So having someone who would be taking care of some part of it while I'm away in the future would be such a massive lift off my shoulders, knowing that there's still progress is being made while I'm somewhere else. That's, of course, it's like, I love working on it, and as I said, especially on the product development, especially digging into data. But I know that I should not prioritize it now. I should prioritize selling and getting pilots and getting feedback and understanding what else can I build on top, understanding what else is lacking, or what is that biggest pain that they see Dodo resolve. Because the way we understood it from the conversations we had is one thing, but when people interact with it and then they give actual feedback from those interactions, it's something completely different. And yeah, so far, even just to getting people to try it has been quite challenging, which honestly I don't understand why, but okay. As I said, blind spots. So that's, I guess, kind of a status. And today I'm working on adding more data from sustainability reports, because I have a call on Monday and that company's data is not yet in, because for sustainability reporting data it's still kind of semi-manual process. Apparently AI, no matter which Claude model I'm using, is just not good enough to actually derive the data that I need. And I don't need a lot. It's also not complicated what I need. But somehow in this massive amounts of text, it kind of gets lost. And the report I'm looking at right now is 337 pages. And there's only one page from all of those pages with the data that I actually need. And it just didn't find it. It found some part of it, but then it hallucinated the result, or not the result, but the information. So it's still pretty much manual check. So I'm working on that today. There's also some data flow automations that I just must implement, because updating data manually is not how it's supposed to happen, but I've just never took my time to automate all of these flows, and often it was changing and not working, and I was fixing and I was applying one fix on top of another, so it's kind of a mess, and it takes me a lot of energy and time to get back to it if I need to quickly get more data. So that's one. And second, I also want to see how far can I get with the new I don't think it's a feature, it's like a whole section on the platform where you could share the comparisons you get and add a little bit of comments, a little bit of annotations. So you select the data that you show based on the products, but you cannot fiddle with it. It just comes from environmental product declarations and your sustainability reporting. So you can select which products you add to the comparison, but you would never be able to modify anything of it or add some data that is not verified or not made public. So it's kind of, you can build it from like a Lego block report to share with your clients or whoever else is interested, so that I still have control on what is shown and I'm still controlling whether the comparison is valid or not. But then companies can add comments on their documentation or something, whatever they want to communicate that doesn't really fit environmental product declaration or their sustainability reporting or anything else like that. So in this way, I'm hoping that I'm not hoping, I know the comparisons would still always stay correct with the data that is verified. And I hope that that Dodo will be viewed as a trustworthy third-party platform to search for these comparisons and to actually see how different companies are doing when it comes to their product footprint. And that in turn will hopefully motivate manufacturers to use it and to share their comparison reports. But that is quite a big chunk. It's probably 1/4 of what I already have added on top. Okay, I have a component, but I have all the graphs I need, but the logic behind it, to create it in a way that is not messing up with anything, and it involves adding a lot of new database tables to store all the information. making sure everything works correctly, that annotations are where they are, and yeah, quite a lot of work. But I feel like it's important to have it done before Monday, or at least some kind of first version of it, so that I can already have something to show on Monday, because that's one of the things that they are looking for. And I hope also more other companies are looking for that. I've so far only heard about 2, but I still think it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to add, especially because that now with Claude and Lovable, it does not take that much time at all. So why not? Why not put 3-4 hours into that, and to get to version 0 and see what happens. Totally worth it. Yeah. For the rest, I'm also finding sitting at my laptop or sitting with my laptop for so long so difficult. Especially after all these vacations. I just can't sit for that long. I just want to go around and do stuff physically. But of course, in order to analyze data, to reach out or writing LinkedIn posts, whatever, all the work that has to be done, it's all with a laptop. And yeah, I want to find a ways to make it more screen free. I can definitely make calls on my walk and then make notes with Whisperflow, which is just genius. I love Whisperflow. It makes everything so much faster and so much easier. I don't need to stop and make a note and then continue walking. I can just talk my notes. I don't have many meetings at the moment, so taking calls or having meetings while walking, I just don't have them. But for the rest, maybe I should work more on implementing AI and outsourcing all the things I really don't like doing or relying stuff to AI, so that I can just spend less time with the laptop and more time thinking. I think that's where I should focus. Maybe not this week, maybe week after, or maybe I can spend 1-2 days on that during my holiday, because it's fun to do. Automation and optimization. Always loved it. Still love doing that. Always looking for things to automate. So having all these AI workflows is just, yeah, exciting. You can't tell by my face that I'm excited by anything, but deep down I actually am. I guess that will be it for this update. I'm sure there's more written in my journal for future me watching, needing more information. Just look at your journal from May, June 2026, and you will know more.